Hello, friends, and welcome to the Virtual Strangers review discussion of Transference. This is a game that was released on the 18th September 2018 from Ubisoft in association with Spectrevision, which is a media company owned and was Elijah Wood that owns that?
Yeah,
Frodo
yeah.
Baggins.
Frodo.
Uh, they're Spectrevision's an interesting company. They do all kinds of different media, mostly film. It all kind of has this weird, dark sort of theme to it, and this game is no exception. Um, I would consider this game to be. It's kind of hard to put a genre on it. I guess you could call it a puzzle adventure of sorts because it plays like one, but it's kind of differently. It's kind of different than your standard puzzle adventure. How would you describe this game, Alex? What kind of game is this?
Yeah, it's a difficult one to peg. It's got obviously puzzles. It's got a very good story. It's kind of like a thriller almost in a way, like a story-driven, puzzly adventure thriller game. But it's got. I won't say it's a full-on horror game. I mean, I can't play horror games. Usually, I struggle, and I was okay with this. But yeah, it's a very high production value. You can tell that these guys, they know what they're doing. They've got some pedigree in Hollywood before, and it shows with this game, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the first thing that you notice right off the bat with this game. Not only does it have a different vibe and feel than anything else I've ever played, but it's got Hollywood level production value, and everything is just so well done. The well, I guess we should start by talking about how the game looks. Uh, Everything is crystal clear and rendered out perfectly. High detailed scenes, even if they're not the biggest, most sprawling scenes, they're beautiful because of the way that they use light and color. And like I said, it's striking from the very first second of the game. Roots, what did you think about this game visually?
I think it's amazing. I think it's very artistic. I know Elijah Wood and people that they really that he did this really love VR and wanted to bring Hollywood into VR, and I think they did a really good job because the atmosphere, the immersion, even just like we were just seeing in that hallway, the way that they use the pixelation, kind of like you would see with those things going in and out, the TV screens, it's all done from a artistic Hollywood director's standpoint. Like a lot of these games, when they do the graphics and they lay out their levels, they do it from a gamer's standpoint. And I think that this studio did it from a movie standpoint and built the game around it, and it shows. I like you said, I have struggled to see any game that comes close to it. Like just the way that they use TVs. I know Anthony said this before. It's such a good the VR is such a good way to use that. They knocked it out of the park in my opinion on this one graphically.
Yeah, all the production values are great. The uh, the audio might be even better than the video. The actors in this game, really everything about this game, the audio, the video, the storytelling feels more like an edgy psychological thriller production from Hollywood. Uh, Alex, what did you think about the actors in this game? Did they get their point across to you?
Yeah, I mean, graphically, this game is one of the best. I mean, it's AAA quality in every aspect. Like you said, the sound, the visuals, the clarity. I mean, I don't know if it's because you're just in small, because you're basically in this same apartment effectively all the way through, but they keep changing the perspective, and it's multi-layered. It sounds kind of like it's going to be boring, but it's not at all. It constantly evolves and changes as you play through the game. Um, but oh, sorry, I forgot what the question was again.
No,
Oh,
you're
sorry, yeah, the
doing
voice
fine.
actors. Sorry, yeah, the actors were good. I mean, what I was going to say is that they kind of they they give you the basics, but they if you want to know the full story, there are tapes that you find, which you can then go and watch different movies. And to be honest, I didn't watch them, so I'd probably missed part of the story and
You did.
yeah, that's the thing. And maybe I should go back in and do that, but because I was kind of not 100% sure with the story, and I think you do have to dive more into these tapes and watch the video recordings. But what the video recordings that they do have on the TVs and the monitors, and sometimes they kind of pull monitors around you in like a digital, like things just pop out, and they really look good. I mean, I played this with my old Rift, and the clarity was so good. I couldn't work out how it looked so good, even though all other games I've played just didn't have that sort of clarity and sharpness that I've seen. So I can't imagine how good it would be on these new modern headsets that we've just had released. But yeah, I mean, this game's great. I loved it. I think it took me about 2.5 hours. It's very it's layered. You can go as deep as you want, and I'm sure Wes, you probably went in deep and watched every single little tape and video recording.
Yeah, there was one or two that I didn't find, and it drives me nuts to this day that I didn't find it. But yeah, the videotapes, and if you're playing through the game and watching the monitors, you're watching these most of what these videotapes are anyway. They play naturally in the story and the ebb and flow of the game. So when you go back and watch the stuff, it's just a replay, most of it, of stuff you've already watched. That said, I want to talk a bit about the gameplay slash story, but it's kind of a tricky thing here. I don't want to spoil too much about this game because the whole hook of the gameplay is figuring out what the story is and what it means. And so we're going to tread carefully here, try to not spoil too much of that fun for you. But the gameplay and the story are interwoven, intricately. You can't talk about one without talking about the other. So we're going to talk about both. Um, you're in this kind of world, and it's kind of like a simulation. What you're experiencing isn't exactly real. It's not real. It's based on people's memories, and it's the memories of this family. There's the father, the mother, and the son, the little boy, and you pass through, and really the entire uh, concept of the gameplay is it's based around point of view, how the same things look different through different people's eyes. So as you're traveling through this game, you'll be playing through this apartment building, and the whole thing takes place in this apartment building. It's not a very big sprawling map like most games are. It's a very small confined area, but you'll experience this same building through the perspective of each different character at three different points in time. And it's a simulation, like I said, but there are parts of it that are missing. And the basic premise of the gameplay is you're looking for items that help you unlock uh, the missing parts of the memory, basically. So you're traveling through different perspectives, different timelines, trying to piece together this whole story. And it's kind of like a mystery in a lot of ways. It plays like a mystery game in many ways, and it's so unique and so different from anything else that I've played that I absolutely loved it. I love story-based games, and this absolutely is one of the best. Um, Roots, talk about the gameplay. How was it to you, and what did you take away from it?
I think it was really good. Like you said, I mean, it was interwoven in the story and done so well. And it's obviously puzzles, you're solving stuff. And again, I enjoyed it. So to me, that tells me it must be good on some level. But it's just one of those things that you can't see the story without going through all the different gameplay. You get to those points like any puzzle game, and I don't mind figuring it out because the story was so compelling and acting and the atmosphere and the immersion that you just get lost in it. I did find a couple of the puzzles were pretty frustrating. One more near towards the end that I actually had to look into, and I don't know, I won't go into details, but other than that, it was very intuitive. I think they did this game on every level. I think Elijah Wood should be championed for, let's put it this way, if they come out with another game, I'm getting it. I don't even care what it is because that's how good this game is.
Yeah, everything that they do is top notch. Even they did a movie since then. I forget what it's even called. A horror movie with Nicolas Cage in it. Mandy. It's called Mandy, and you can see a lot of the same tricks with lighting and things in that movie that they used in this game, which I thought was really interesting. But back to the gameplay and the storytelling here. Like I said before, it really plays with perspective. If you watch the videotapes, or even if, like, for example, uh, like I said, you're experiencing three different viewpoints. But you're in the same apartment, so maybe you're looking from the father's perspective at a photograph that's hanging on the wall, something seemingly innocuous that you wouldn't think has a lot to do with the story, but you'll be looking at a family portrait that's hanging on the wall, and from the father's point of view, you'll notice that the wife and the kid are smiling and that they're happy. But if you come back in and look at the same picture from the kid's point of view, you can tell that visibly that the mother and father are angry at one another. And there's a lot of this type of thing in this game. It's a very interactive environment. There are a lot of items to pick up, and it seems like everything that you pick up holds some kind of clue or another small piece of the story that you're trying to unravel. Alex, what did you think about the storytelling here and the gameplay as it associates to it?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I played this. It wasn't that long since I played this, so it's still kind of fresh in my mind. And it was definitely a game that I just played through in 2 nights, I think. And I think I know exactly where you got stuck, Roots, because I got stuck in the same place towards the end. But I'll just say clocks. I don't know if that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So there's one which I just couldn't figure out, and even after I read it, I still struggle a little bit to try and figure out how to do it.
It
But
was
yeah,
weird.
other than that, everything else felt great though. I mean, the way that they do it with these perspectives, with these light switches. So you walk up to a light switch, and then that changes. They're kind of like time periods almost. In like one's the kid's birthday, and everything's all dark. It's night with really nice lighting. Everything felt real because of the lighting in this game. And then you've got one which is where it's from the mother's perspective, and things are different. And then you've got some which is from the dad's perspective, and the whole place has been taken over by technology, and there's servers and computers all and wires everywhere. So they really played, even though it all takes place in kind of in the same area. It intrigued me, and I just wanted to keep playing. I wanted to find out what happened, and I wanted to keep going with the game. So I wouldn't let that put you off. And if you want to see what a future game's going to look like when we've got AAA developers making these sort of games, get this game and just jump into it because the visuals are so good. I mean, maybe it's just because it's such a small area and it's an apartment, so everything's flat surfaces, and maybe but it just looks so real. It was almost photorealistic at places, and this is just incredible how immersive and how atmospheric this place felt. It felt like a real place to me. It felt like somewhere I've actually been, and I can't wait to see what more stuff we get, from this developer, hopefully, and also obviously from AAA developers when they get on board, and we get some true high quality stuff.
yeah, it's you're absolutely right. It's definitely a shining example of where we're heading with storytelling in VR. And I can only imagine how immersive these games are going to get as the technology with PCs and consoles increases, and games like this games like this increase in length. Obviously this is a short game, but if you're with this kind of production value, it would probably take quite a bit of computing power to make this a very long experience, and it doesn't need to be uh, either. It works. When this game first came out, I was looking forward to this one for a very, very long time. I heard about it early on. Actually, PSVR Frank announced first that this game was coming because he, by random chance, met Elijah Wood. I think at like the airport or something, and Elijah Wood revealed it to him, and that was the first time I heard about it. It was a long time ago, and I really was looking forward to this. But when the reviews first came out and said that it was uh, 3 hours long tops, and it released for like 25 or $30. That kind of bothered me a little bit because I'm on a budget. That's kind of expensive to pay $10 an hour for a VR game. But you know, I had anticipated it for so long. I did go ahead and buy it, and I got to say, I wasn't sorry that I dropped the money on it. I enjoyed it. I loved it, and I don't regret it to this day. So, Alex, what's your final verdict on it? Is this game worth the money?
Uh, yeah, I think it is, to be honest. I mean, was 20 pounds probably for me, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I bought it well, in fact, Roots bought it for me on a sale for like £9, and it's absolute steal at that price, in my opinion. I mean, this is kind of like it took me about 2.5 hours. It's kind of like a movie. You're looking at, it's a movie length, really, like a feature film, and you're in it. I mean, that's as far as I can describe it. And I love this game so much that having played it, I would have actually gone out knowing how good it is and just bought it full price because I thought it was that good. So, I mean, you've got to be into this sort of game, maybe. I mean, I know me and Wes in particular really like a story-driven sort of and these sort of visually stunning games where you're going through these environments and things. They really, it's right up my street, and I absolutely loved it. But some people want, or they only want open world games that they can sink 50 hours into or something, and a linear sort of story driven game doesn't interest them. So you'll know whether this is your sort of game. But if you have any sort of inkling whether you're gonna like it, I'd just say buy it because it's just that good, personally.
100%. People who like these kind of unfolding mysteries that you kind of have to explore to piece together, games like A Chair in a Room, Greenwater, things like that, is absolutely going to love this because it's on another level above any of these other games. And despite the fact that it's only about as long as a very good motion picture, doesn't take away from the experience. Sure, you're sad at the end. You want it to keep going, but you don't feel at all like it's unfulfilled. The story has a conclusion, and you're glad you came along for the ride. Roots, what's your final verdict on this one?
I agree with both of you. I think it's all perspective, right? Like, if you look at it as a movie, like a really good movie lengthwise that you get to be in, like I was a kid and I watched Last Action Hero and I thought, oh my God, if I could actually be in a movie. Well, here you get to be in a movie, you get to interact, you get to watch it unfold. Maybe it goes a little bit longer than 2.5 hours, depending on how long it takes you. So from that perspective, I think it's a steal, because how much would people will go and they will pay for 3D IMAX, it's 20-25 bucks a ticket anyway. Like, we're getting to the point where, it's what you value. And I think for production alone on every level, visually, audio, gameplay, like I think $25 is a steal. $10 what we got it for Alex on sale, and it just got off a sale. It's on sale a lot. I think is a steal. I think it's a no-brainer. And I think if you just want to be in a really cool movie that Elijah Wood developed and put out, because I don't think there's anything in VR that's this visually stunning from an artistic Hollywood standpoint. I think this is setting the bar for a lot of other studios, and it shows you, like, you know, like Alex was saying, he said he didn't understand how it could look this good. It's just like anything else. It's a developers knowing what the fuck they're doing. You see the lighting, you said in that movie, right? The same lighting. So they're taking everything they know, and then they're taking developers that know what they're doing, putting it into VR, and I just think it's a no-brainer to pick up and play, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. It's true. This game does go on sale a lot now. It seems like over the last 2 or 3 months, you can catch it pretty regularly for $10, and it's a no-brainer at that. And in my opinion, if this is your type of game and you don't want to wait for a sale, absolutely just go pick it up for full price. It's worth it, 100%. Now, that said, this game is available on PC VR, but it's also available on PlayStation VR. And if you want to get a feel for what the game feels like from a production standpoint, as well as a gameplay standpoint, there is a demo available on PlayStation. I'm not sure if it's available on PC or not, but it's called the Walter Test Case. And it's not a section of the game per se, but it is it's kind of like a piece of story adjacent to the main story. It's related to the main game, but it's not a part of the main game. But it very much looks, feels it, and plays like Transference does, and it's a good way to check out and see if you're going to enjoy the gameplay of this game. Anything that I've missed here with Transference? Anything we haven't touched on that I forgot about?
I don't think so.
All right, so we're going to wrap it there.
Wait, Alex is saying something. We can't hear you, Alex.
Sorry, I'm muted.
Okay.
It's my...
That's all good.
No, I was just going to say there's probably a couple of negatives that we should kind of mention.
Oh, okay.
Towards the end, but they don't really spoil the game. It's just, this is a flat game, and it does feel like a flat game that's kind of been ported over. There are a few little glitches and bugs, like sometimes if you walk into something by accident, it'll reset your height and you'll be at a different height and things. I mean, it's nothing that really detracts from the game. I just wanted to mention it. And just when you're picking things up, it doesn't feel more like a native VR game, but it's not a big deal, I don't think. I just wanted to mention it, really.
I never noticed the camera thing. That's weird. I hope, thank God, I never clipped into something, I guess.
Yeah, I don't remember that either, but that doesn't mean anything. It's been a little while since I played this one, so maybe it happened. I just didn't think much of it.
Yep.
But
Okay.
yeah, for the in the spirit of being complete, that there's those are the negatives, and they are few.
Very small, very minor, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I think we have a 100% recommend here. We all love this game. So if you like story-driven mystery games and psychological thrillers, be sure to pick it up ASAP. I want to thank you for watching our video. If you like it, be sure to click the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget the notification bell to keep up with all of our daily content. So for Ruuts and Alex, I'm Wes, and thanks for watching, friends, and we'll see you next time.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.